From historic Thruway Lanes in Cheektowaga, New York, minutes from Buffalo, ESPN brings you live coverage of the Denny's PBA Tour. It's the 2006 Geico Classic. Dave Ryan alongside Randy Peterson, joined by four of the world's best bowlers. And now all four are ready to roll.
He has 6 career Denny's PBA Tour titles, and today marks his first TV Finals in 2 seasons. From Newark, New York, Doug Kent.
Doug has not bowled under the bright TV lights since November 2004. Today he brings the home field advantage to the show. This Western New York native is sure to have the crowd on his side.
He has 30 PBA Tour titles and over $2.5 million in career earnings. From Jackson, New Jersey, Parker Bohn III.
The lone lefty on the show today, his last title came on this very same oil pattern, the Cheetah, a year ago in El Paso. 7 lefties made it to match play. Parker Bohn III, the only one to advance to the show.
A 24-year PBA Tour veteran, today he makes his first TV Finals of the season. From Tulsa, Oklahoma, Mike Edwards.
Mike Edwards is in search of 2 milestones today. With a win in his first match, he will surpass $1 million in career earnings. With a win in his second, he will have won for the first time in 12 years.
With 22 career Denny's PBA Tour titles, today marks his 5th TV Finals appearance of the season. From Claremont, Florida, Norm Duke.
Stormin' Norman stormed his way to his 90th career TV Finals, outlasting Tim Chris in 7 games in the round of 8. He may be small in stature, but pound for pound, maybe the most feared player on tour.
These are your finalists competing for the title in the 2006 Geico Classic.
This bowling center has hosted 18 PBA Tour events in its long history. The first dates back to 1974 when Hall of Famer Dave Sutar won a tournament here. Today, 4 bowlers try to write the next chapter in Thruway Lanes in Denny's PBA Tour history. Lanny, let's check those matchup. Our first semifinal is all in the family, isn't it?
It's the battle of the brother-in-laws in our first semifinal. The wives are here to root them both on, sitting right next to one another, rooting for their husbands. And in our second match, Norm Duke and Mike Edwards, a 30-year friendship. They roomed together back in 1983 in Cleveland, Ohio, when Norm became the youngest player to ever win a title.
Ready, we're set. The brothers-in-law matchup. We'll start with Doug. First time you've matched up with Parker Bohn III since you've been related by marriage. How do you think it'll be like to compete against your brother-in-law?
Well, thinking about it last night, you know, when the match was decided, the TV show was decided, it was a little strange, and we thought it was going to be a pretty neat thing today. But, you know, it's business today, and, you know, what happens, happens, and we're going to be brother-in-laws after this.
All right. Thanks, Doug. Parker Bohn III, exactly what kind of bragging rights are on the line here in your family?
Well, regardless of what happens in this game right now, he's still going to buy dinner tonight. So, but we're going to go out. We're going to have a great match, and I expect nothing less than probably a 240 to 250 game. In a polite way, I just hope I'm on top.
All right. Thanks, Parker. He's expecting a high score, Randy, in this matchup on the cheater pattern, 35 feet long.
And real big scores this week. Our easiest pattern of the named patterns. Reason why is because there's friction to the outside part of the lane. Our shortest pattern at 35 feet, the players are going to throw into that friction zone. If they start to hook a little bit, they just move towards the center part of the lane. Keep in mind, in match play, Mike Edwards averaged almost 250 this week. Another guy who had a nice run is Parker Bohn III, averaging 245 in match play.
And yes, Randy, the wives are here. There's Leslie and Chrissy Kent, Parker and Doug's wives. And they are sisters. Wow, the 6 stays up there for Parker. His first shot of the day, each really piping at Randy in practice, throwing the ball pretty hard.
Yep, that's the way to play this pattern. The guys that try to hook it on this pattern don't usually fare well. Stay out, stay into that dirt, throw it hard, take your hand out of it, let the lane hook the ball to the pocket.
Perfect single pin numbers for Parker all week. And he knocks down number 6. He told us right before the match he feels this is his day. Not trying to be overly confident, but just feeling good. Leading us to the Ace Hardware matchup. The brothers-in-law head-to-head. Doug Kent looking for his first title in a long time.
And like I said earlier, Parker extremely solid in match play. 245 average. You see those averages there? That's combined qualifying and match play.
Great start for Doug Kent from Newark, New York. He is 39 years old and a Western New Yorker. He lives about an hour, 15 minutes from here, where he runs 2 bowling centers. In fact, this has been an unbelievable week for Doug. Not only bowling his brother-in-law here on TV, for the first time since they've been related by marriage, just about 2 years now, but also he and his wife, Chrissy, running a very important bowling tournament at one of his centers in Newark. He's been going back and forth. 2 great shots. Doug Kent, believe it or not, after he won his round of 8 matchup on Friday, Randy, he met with us. He had to bolt to his bowling center in Newark. He stayed there for a couple of hours. Yesterday, 6 a.m. to midnight, he helped work those tournaments. This morning, 5:45 a.m. local time, he was helping get the tournament organized. Then he drove here to Buffalo for his tournament on TV.
Yeah, you're looking at 2 extremely busy guys. Parker and his wife having a baby last week. Parker and his wife with the baby last week. Dougie with the bowling centers this week. This morning at 5:45 a.m., Parker's out getting ready to move his motorhome because he heard the snow plows coming. Didn't want to get snowed in.
The last thing you want to have happen. West Blount went down to Parker here Friday in the round of 8. Crowds have been great all week. We have a sold-out house here in Cheektowaga near Buffalo as the PBA returns to Western New York. Great start for Reach. Looks for double, third frame.
A lot of great memories in this bowling center. Been great champions here. Mark Roth won here in 1986. Excuse me, in 87. I won here in 1988 with the great Carmen Salvino in a doubles tournament. It's great to be back in Western New York and talk about some fantastic bowling fans. We had them all week long, and we have them here today.
13 PBA Hall of Famers have won tour titles here in Buffalo. Wayne Zahn the first back in 1964. The Buffalo Open in nearby Depew, New York.
Come on.
Late
Here
hit
it
number
goes.
10. Not quite. And it still stands for Doug Kent.
9 and a wiggle. And keep in mind, both of these players have faced each other 4 titles. Doug beat Parker Bohn in 1997 at the Japan Cup, and Parker returned the favor a year later when he beat Doug in Detroit.
Takes care of his 10-pin. He's got to be exhausted from running around back and forth to Newark.
Good shot.
To his bowling center there. And there's his son Jacob, who is a freshman in high school at Canandaigua Academy. Bowls for the Braves. He bowls varsity already. And he bowled yesterday in the sectionals and did very well for himself. His team finished 3rd. And Doug's parents are here as well. His dad has a birthday tomorrow. Wouldn't that be a present for old Pops here? That'd be something. His parents, Mike and Nancy, enjoying that shot as well. All able to break away from the busy tournament in Newark to come see Doug bowl in person.
About 10 years ago, we're bowling in Austin, and Jacob was there. He was only 4 at the time, and Doug says, "Hey, Randy, can you watch Jacob while I bowl my pro-am?" I said, "Sure, no problem." I take him in the game room. He goes through about 20 bucks of my cash in the games, right? I saw Jacob today. I said, "Hey, do you have that $20? He said, "I have no idea what you're talking about, Randy."
I watched Jacob on the practice lanes this morning throw it. Oh, look at the difficult split here for Parker. Jacob's a fine young bowler, just a freshman in high school. Parker's got a challenge ahead.
Yeah, and this is something that you didn't expect that was going to happen today, because it didn't happen a lot all week. Parker comes in light, leaving the 3-7-9. Let me just tell you how difficult this split is. I've made the 7-10 split more times than I've made this. The right-handed would be the 2-8-10.
Leaves the 7, an open frame, and we'll see how damaging that is to the chances of Parker Bohn, who really felt confident prior to the match, as we told you, that he would win this tournament today. He's had a great season, 4 TV shows, but no wins, and in fact does not have a victory in a TV match yet this season.
Well, and normally on the cheetah pattern, the first one that misses or opens usually loses because of the high scores. A lot of strikes thrown on this pattern.
Just avoids a 7-10. He's 0-3 so far in TV, Randy, with a 209.33 average in those 3 matches. That includes Fountain Valley. Dick Weber Open as the #1 seed in stepladder, lost to Jason Couch in the final.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for him this year, although he has made 4 shows. Struggle for him on television, averaging only 209.
One of the legends of our sport, who is 3rd all-time in winnings, more than $2.5 million. He's 5th all-time in TV appearances, 6th all-time in wins. And Doug Kent just trying to get himself back to that winner's circle. He's done pretty well in his home state, the Empire State of New York. Last win, 2002, in Latham, New York, near Albany. And the Messenger, slow moving this time, won't take out the 10. But thanks to the open from Parker in the 4th frame, Doug's got a nice lead. Patrick Allen, last year's Player of the Year, went down to Doug, round of 8 in 5 games here. As Kent caught fire at the right time. He's just had that look. He said to us, a huge relief just to be back on the show. It's been a long time for him. 2 years. 32 events since his last title. But keep in mind, Doug Kent, 39 years old, makes his 30th career TV appearance today. He has plenty of experience under the bright lights of television. Last time he made it to TV, 2004 in Cleveland. That event won by Walter Ray Williams Jr. That was the beginning of last season. Walter Ray, his last title. Who would have thought that? His 40th and still last title.
Yeah, who would have thought that it'd be week 17 and we haven't seen Walter Ray Williams Jr. yet.
Not on television all year long. Bowled well, though. Green 10 pin, leaves number 10 again.
If Parker gives him that open frame there in the 4th, and
through it, not over.
That's exactly what you'd want if you were Doug Kent, and Doug unable to capitalize on it. Goes flat 10, ring 10 right after the strike in the 4th frame.
Trying to keep the string going. 50 and counting now, no open frames. Imagine the scene at Rose Bowl now, 36 lanes in Newark, New York, which is near Rochester, not far from us. He also owns Lakeside Lanes, a 16-lane center. That's in Penn Yan, New York, not far from where we are. 13-pin lead for the proprietor, and what he hopes is the winning brother-in-law in this all-family matchup. The first semifinal underway. We'll talk more about this match and semifinal number 2 when we return. This is the second time on the Denny's PBA Tour that one brother-in-law has faced another on TV. The last time back in 1992 at the Cleveland Open when Steve Cook defeated brother-in-law and Hall of Famer Mike Albee in the finals. Welcome, bowling fans, to Western New York. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson alongside our entire crew. It's live coverage of the Denny's PBA Tour. Glad you could join us today. Well, one fact we have certain, Randy and I are not brothers, but Parker Bohn III and Doug Kent are. Makes for an intriguing matchup on the lanes today.
Well, what's the saying, Dave? Blood is thicker than water, except when you're trying to win a title on the Denny's PBA Tour. So certainly no love loss in our opening match. But one thing's for certain, the loser will certainly root for the winner to bring home another trophy to the family.
Another big story, semifinal number 2. It's Mike Edwards head-to-head with Norm Duke. And for Mike, it's been a long drought. 240 events without a title, nearly 12 years. And now he's dangerously close to that cut line, too.
Yeah, and let's not forget what he did a couple of seasons ago when he led wire-to-wire at the PBA Tour Trials. But last season he had a nice season, but this year it's been a struggle for him, suffering through a wrist injury. And you're right, uncomfortably close to the cut number. But with a win today, hey, that all goes away. He earns his exemption. But in my opinion, I think the favorite has to be Norm Duke. 5 shows, 2 second places, including a loss to Mike Scroggins at the USBC Masters. I think Norm Duke is right where he wants to be. The reason why I say that is because I feel that on this soil pattern, he has a distinct advantage because it's really good if you can go straight and firm. And I think even though Norm is a very versatile player, going straight is Norm's A game.
Been a great season, certainly, for Norm Duke as he tries to get his first victory today. Parker Bohn III down by 13 pins. Our first semifinal. Edwards and Duke to follow here in Buffalo. Wow. You see how far left Parker goes. And the end of the 35-foot cheetah pattern. The ball hits that dry spot and really jets toward the pocket. But he's playing pretty far left.
Yeah, but you know that's nothing for a professional as long as there's a little bit of help. And you know we've played outside before, and when there's a little bit of friction outside, that's when you start licking your chops, especially for a guy like Parker Bohn III who likes to go straight and throws it hard.
Another great shot for the Hall of Famer, whose last title came in El Paso, Texas, defeated Chris Barnes and then Robert Smith January 16, 2005 on this very same cheetah pattern.
And it looks like Mr. Momentum has changed his address right there with a double. Parker Bohn now only trailing by 3 pins.
All the way back to Albany, New York, 2002, a 5-man show. Doug Kent's last title on tour. Perfect shot. Defeated Steve Jarris, Tommy DeLutz Jr., Chris Barnes in the final 257-204. It's been a long time for Doug, who told us when we talked to him this weekend, he may give the tour a couple more years. He's 39 years old now, and it's getting to the point where he wants to finish off his career on a strong note.
He's got a lot of things going on at home, too. I mean, he's a proprietor of 2 bowling centers. That takes a lot of work. I don't know how he juggles those 2 businesses and a full-time career on the PBA Tour.
Can't be easy. As we speak, a scratch amateur tournament going on at Rose Bowl Lanes in Newark. 200-plus bowlers and $5,000 to the winner. His wife, Chrissy, organizing that much of yesterday along with Doug, who spent literally the entire day there. And oh, by the way, get ready for a TV show the very next day. His wife, Chrissy, was running the show in Newark. And now they're both here hoping Doug can win a title against his brother-in-law, Parker Bohn III. Amazing story.
What a great shot, and we've seen him do that throughout his Hall of Fame career a lot. And right now, it's simple. Parker Bohn III can strike out for 245. Doug Kent can strike out for 248. I want to talk about an Iron Man. Here's a guy that bowled 51 games in the U.S. Open last week. His wife had a baby, and comes back here this week and makes a telecast.
Little Lauren, born on February 16th. Congratulations to the Bones. Their 3rd child together. 7-pin for Parker, and a chance there to take a lead.
Yeah, now it's this match is for Doug Kent to step up and strike in the 9th and 10th frame and steal it right away from Parker Bohn III. Just got a huge opening right there when Parker didn't strike in the 9th frame.
There's the 10th pin. Doug and Parker were roommates. He takes the 7th pin out, rather. For the first 5-6 weeks of the season. Hotel on the road. So they are very good friends in addition to being relatives.
Strike here. Good count in the 9th frame. Doug Kent will advance.
Foundation frame. Big shot. Up to the turkey. Has a strike.
All right, so I was wrong about that momentum thing I said earlier. But here's the deal. Doug Kent goes 9 spare strike. This match is done. He'll shoot 227. The best Parker Bohn. The 3rd can shoot is 224. 9 spare strike, he moves on. 9 spare 9, he moves on.
So the older guard represented here. We've had the young guns do so well. Tommy Jones, our 20-something superstar with 4 titles. Doug is the youngest on the show today at 39.
Look out.
That light hit way off the mark from the pocket there. Only leaves the 2-pin.
Yeah, and he's lucky, too. He threw it bad. He flamed it, threw it way too hard. The ball never grabbed the lane, and he knows he just got a huge break. But you're right. We talked about all the young guns last week, and now it's the old guys. Doug Kent, the young guy at 39. This is our highest scoring pattern, so you know what that tells you. Old guys still know how to strike.
Like yourself.
We don't need to go there, Dave.
Spare Nate to shut out his brother-in-law. Pay the rent, baby. Pay the rent. We asked Doug about his thoughts on the young guns on tour. Guys like Sean Rash at 23 years old, who won in West Virginia a couple of weeks ago. He said he admires their carefree attitude. He's just going to go up there and throw. And sometimes the consequences, no big deal. Needs 8 pins here. Cutting it loose. That's what Doug admires about the youngsters. Well, now he's young at heart. And a chance to pull himself into the final. Yes. Which he does. Well, one of the sisters was going to have to see the other one go home without a win. The brothers-in-law go head-to-head, and it's Chrissy's Doug. She and Leslie grew up in Michigan. And her little nephew there as well with Leslie. Randy, the TV frustrations continue for Parker Bohn III.
Well, you know, he bowled much better today than he had been this season. The one bad shot in the 4th frame where he left the 3-7-9 ended up costing him this match. Oh, boy.
This match is over. While we have a moment here, we'd like to send our special thanks and good luck to Jason Carr, who has left our media relations staff of the PBA Tour. He is off to the Chicago Cubs to be on their PR staff. Currently in Arizona at the Cactus League Spring Training. Good luck to Jason.
Yeah, Jason, if you're watching, man, thanks for all your hard work and efforts. Greatly appreciated.
All in the family matchup, and Doug Kent takes it. The first time since they've been related by marriage. They've met on TV, and Kent, the proprietor, advances to the final. He'll take on either Mike Edwards or Norm Duke. From Cheektowaga, New York, more on the way. Thanks to a 227-213 win, Doug Kent now 3-1 lifetime against Parker Bohn III on TV, their first ever matchup. So as family, Bob Cassis, Mike McKinley, AMF District Managers, thanks so much for your great help all week here. We'll see those gentlemen again on the Denny's PBA Tour. Tommy Jones is the leader after his incredible outing last week in New Jersey, winning his first major. The top 4 go to the round of Super 16, bypass all the qualifying at the Denny's World Championship next month in Indianapolis. And Jones, as we mentioned, just fabulous a week ago. He was the king of the lanes in New Jersey. Last week in New Jersey, Tommy Jones was introduced to a major TV show for the first time in his career, and he made it count. As the number 2 seed, his first order of business was this batch of 3rd-seeded Michael Fagan, which he did. Then top-seeded Ryan Schaefer was next. In an excellent championship match, Jones took care of Schaefer 237-223. His 4th title in 5 shows this year, and more importantly, his first career major.
This one means everything.
Plain and simple, Tommy Jones has just been spectacular over the last 2 years. 7 titles now, make it 8 over 2 seasons. Comparing what Parker Bohn III, who was on the show today, and the great Hall of Famer Walter Ray Williams have done in the prime of their career. Well, TJ is right up there, and certainly the front runner for this year's Player of the Year award. Going to take a lot to try to catch him. Mike Edwards just wanted to catch up and get another title. He's only won 1. He's head-to-head with Norm Duke. in his 5th show of the year. Duke Edwards, second semi on the way. Doug Kent has defeated brother-in-law Parker Bohn III in the first semifinal. So he's in the championship match to take on either Mike Edwards or Norm Duke. And we're joined now by Mike Edwards. 240 events without a title, Mike. It's been a long time. How do you best approach trying to break that long streak?
Well, I just got to come out and stay with my plan that I stayed with all week. It's going to be an honor to bowl Norm. It's always a treat. And like the old days, the store's open again.
Thanks, Mike. Norm, 5th show of the year, but no titles. When someone tells you about that stat, how do you react?
Same as him. Stay with the plan. You know, one good thing for Mike and I is somebody's going to come out of here happy, and both of us been working awfully hard for it, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Thanks, Norm. Norm Duke, by the way, is the subject of this week's Dexter Approach with a towel shot.
Next week on the Denny's PBA Tour, you're going to see the semifinals of the Skills Challenge. I'm going to take on Chris Barnes. One of my shots is throwing a ball out of a towel. I'm going to show you how to do that now. I'm going to set the ball in a way that it's going to roll down the lane as if I had my hand in it. I'm going to put these 2 ends together, slide them through my hand so that the middle 2 fingers are on the bottom. And I'm going to cinch that up. I'm going to fold the top 2 ends together, pull them around so I can hold it with the thumb. At this point, I just have to let go of the thumb and hope. Brooklyn!
I like Norm Duke handling his own Dexter Approach.
You know how many towels are going to sell out of pro shops tomorrow?
Can you make that shot?
No.
I've never seen you try it.
As far as you know, I can.
What a feeling this must be, folks, for Mike Edwards returning to TV for the first time in so long, trying to win his 2nd ever title. Last time on TV, November 2004 in Wichita. Nice start for the guy they call Eddie. That event last season was won by Jason Hurd. His lone title, April of '94, the IOF Foresters Bowling for Miracles Open in Markham, Ontario, Canada, near Toronto. And by the way, we're close to the Canadian border, about 15, 20 minutes.
Yes, we are. You can tell just by the temperature.
Speaking of Claremont, Florida, Randy Peterson also from Claremont, as is Jason Couch. Norm Duke. The Floridians are used to the sunny climate, which we have not had here in Buffalo. It snowed pretty hard last night. Ace Hardware matchup, 2nd semifinal. Norm Duke's had a great year, but he needs a victory to break through today.
Yeah, well, you know, Norm told us last night that it would be a very disappointing season to not come away with a win at some point this season. But, you know, he's on the verge of making the most money he's ever made, with the exception of that one year where he made like $279,000. I think it was back in 1994. So a great year by anyone's standards, but not Norm Duke's standards.
Blisters the rack. Great look lane level from our crew. And how hard he's throwing the ball, really piping it at that 1-3 pocket. To finish up on Randy's note there, he is 5th all-time as Norm in career wins. $2.26 million. He's 3rd this year on the money list at $140,000. Tommy Jones, as we saw, having an incredible season, is the runaway leader in that category. Oh! How about the help across the deck? The messenger takes out the 10.
Like a spinning messenger. Head pin goes to the sidewall, comes over and says, "You want some of me, 10 pin?" I don't think so. You think Mike likes it? Oh, yeah.
Mike at 44 years old, longtime PBA veteran, a member since 1981, 24th year on tour. Just the 1 title so far. Keeps it going.
This guy against Jason Couch in the round of 16, he swept Jason because he averaged 261 for those 4 games.
Norm Duke's road to TV. Mike Scroggins, who's made 5 shows as well, fell in the round of 32. Mike Devaney's had a very nice year, top 10 in points. And then Tim Chris, who was also on our ESPN crew. Got by Tim, did Norm Duke in that round of 8 match here on Friday, and that was very exciting. There's a big crowd assembled here in Cheektowaga to watch that one. And Norm is really loved by the crowd here. We heard the Duke chant when he was introduced. It was the same here on Friday for the round of 8.
That's everywhere we go. You know, watch this shot here, the profile. You'll never see Norm Duke's backswing this high unless he's playing this cheetah pattern. He likes to throw it really hard, and one way to do that is to get that backswing up. Watch that. Boom.
Goes for the front 4 here, Randy. Which he has. 60 feet to success, Norm Duke.
Last time we saw him throw like this, remember what happened? How about a perfect game against Walter A. Williams Jr. back in Tacoma? I mean, he was just firing it up the 1-2-3 board.
He's got the front 4 here, and Edwards looks for the same thing. Can he stay perfect?
Skate.
You bet. What a start for these two. Whew. The front 4. Edwards roll. Look at that after getting by Smith in the round of 32. Dispatched of Jason Couch, who's won twice on tour. Steve Jarris, the Dexter TOC champ from last year. Down as well in 4.
You saw that qualifying average at 230. He averaged 249 in match play for those 14 games.
This is a guy who has the active lead, unfortunately for him, on the Denny's PBA Tour in terms of events of a drought between titles, 240. Rick Steelsmith is next at 179. Michael Haugen Jr. third in that unfortunate category at 173 and counting.
You can see Mike Edwards playing slightly left of Norm Duke, and that could create a problem for Norm because, well, he's playing left of Norm. If Norm were to pull it, it'll be a question whether or not Norm will have hold. Wow.
Oh, my! We are really cranking up now. It is the Motel 6 frame. Norm has the front 5 with a strike in the 6. He'll earn $600 from Motel 6, the official lodging partner of the PBA. He'll also be eligible for a $6,000 bonus if he throws the front 6, more than any other bowler on TV this year.
Well, doesn't Mike Edwards get the same shot at that?
Yes, he does.
Both with the front 5. Both perfect. Look how far he starts off that approach to get those feet going, generate all that speed.
Another!
Yo, money!
6 in a row, Norm Duke.
Money, money! There's one thing you can count on when you bowl Norm Duke. You better pack a lunch, and Mike Edwards knows that.
What a match we have here. If you're currently handling your remote control, put it down, because we've got a great finish coming up. Edwards and Duke are both perfect. Do we have a 300 game? We'll find out. We have had 16 perfect games on TV in Denny's PBA Tour history. Last time, December 7th, 2003 in snowy Connecticut. Remember that? Nika Koibunemi over Jason Couch. All the latest PBA news, stats, player features, and officially licensed PBA merchandise. Just a mouse click away at PBA.com. In addition, you can participate in a PBA fan poll. This week's poll asked you if you thought Tommy Jones could win the season's remaining 2 majors and earn a $1 million bonus courtesy of Jackson Hewitt Tax Service. And as you can see by these results, fans are about 50-50 on this one. TJ was brilliant last week in New Jersey. Denny's World Championship, he's in the top 4 there for sure now, it looks like, to get right to the round of Super 16. And he'll have a great spot as well in the Dexter Tournament of Champions, 11 matches, and he's got his $1 million.
It's one thing to bowl for $100,000 for first, but for $1 million, I'm not sure.
Wow.
Not sure it'd be real easy to pry it out of your hand.
Edwards has been hot. Stays hot. And he as well wins the Motel 6 $600 thanks to the front 6.
Spider.
Keep in mind what Norm Duke told us last night. He said that he thinks the 300 game is very possible today.
Back scores, well, 12 shots. They stay perfect. Can you imagine a roll-off with 200 or 300 games?
No.
Oh, my.
out.
It's way high, though. Lester won't take out the 2, and his streak ends at 6. And we'll see the lanes change a bit.
And, of course, the jinx of the mention of 300 game never fails on television. That's why we never like to say it. But we have to. Got that a little right. It hooked. It went high. Almost drops it, but no sweat. But Norm Duke still perfect through 6 frames.
Norm closes in. Lane level look at it.
Wow.
10 pin, and his streak comes to an end as well after 6 strikes, and the match really heats up.
All right, so here's the deal. The next match, if somebody has like the front 6, we don't mention 300. We just put a graphic up. What do you think? What do you think, Dave?
It's like in basketball broadcasts, you say what a great free throw shooter someone is, and they miss 2.
Yeah.
It just happens.
What a great putter he is. He misses a 3-footer.
Yeah.
I understand.
Norm does have 54 career, 300 games. The last came in Tulsa this season, our stateside season opener. And now he's got his mark. 1 pin lead. Works on a spare, heading to the 8th frame. These two were roommates way back when. First starting their careers off when a young Norm Duke, the youngest ever to win on tour, at 18 years old, 1983 Cleveland Open.
I was there, North Olmsted, Ohio.
Norm's got all 10 down. Our coverage of the Denny's PBA Tour rolls on. Pepsi Championship, the greatest bowlers in the world, work the boards at AMF Riviera Lanes for a piece of the $232,000 prize. The Denny's PBA Tour on ESPN next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern. And Letta Monticelli, the Hall of Famer, is the defending champ in the Akron area. 31st time overall at Riviera, 2nd straight year of that tremendous bowling center.
A lot of history at that center.
Is there ever? Edwards needs an answer, and we'll have it. Great story they told us last night about being hotel roommates way back when in '83.
Yeah, they said they were dead broke, young kids on tour, and they stayed across the street. I don't need to mention the name of the hotel, but anybody that was there, they know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's like $25 a night. There's 3 of them in the room, including Bill Young Jr. from Oklahoma City, and there's 2 beds and a cot. So the deal was low man every day after qualifying or match play gets the cot. Mike said he had the cot all week.
Unfortunately for him. And Norm at just 18 way back then, won his first ever title. Yeah, they face off head-to-head again. Good friends on tour. And Edwards stays clean here and has a 9-pin lead in a very tight match.
That's a 1-pin match, and you know what? Right now, Norm Duke can win this by stepping up and striking out in the 9th and 10th frame to shoot 279. The best Mike Edwards can shoot is 278.
Big strike for Norm Duke. He told us he and his son Brandon recently watched the DVD of that '83 championship in Cleveland. He had never seen the tape of his first ever PBA title. Brandon, who was almost 10 years old, said, "Dad, you had a lot of hair back then." And he walked out. That's pretty much it.
Well, he actually beat Earl Anthony on that show.
Yeah.
And right now, Norm Duke, remember, he said it's all about winning. And with 3 strikes here in the 10th frame, he will advance to the title match against Doug Kent.
Perfect shot. All 10 down in the pit, Norm Duke.
You notice how he's not hooping it up right now? He knows exactly what he needs to do. That shot there, when he let go of it, it looked like it was coming right out of his shoes.
Please.
Two more for the win.
Norm has had a tremendous season. He's ranked 4th in points. The top 4 make the Denny's World Championship round of Super 16. Bypass all the qualifying. We talked about his earnings. But he has told us what he needs is a victory. Tries to get there. And perhaps he will with shots like that. Another huge strike for Norm Duke. He's had some memorable TV experience this year. The roll-off with Jason Couch. After tying 213-213. Dick Weber Open in Fountain Valley. Lost the roll-off to Couch 10-9. Edwards is focused. Norm Duke does it. And he's a winner, advancing to the final to take on Doug Kent.
Oh,
a
man.
long wait will continue for Mike Edwards, who has told us this may be his last year on tour. He is considering retirement and spending more time with family and friends in his native Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's recently engaged to Sam Mulligan, who works on the PBA Tour as an account executive, sales and sponsorship.
Store's open now, isn't
Clincher ready.
Here's a shot for the wheat. Watch this.
I took the end.
He catches a light mixer. Mike Edwards is like, oh, man, I got the caught again.
Low man. One more time. All these years later. 23 to be exact. 279 game for Duke. Just been spectacular all week. And a great run for Mike Edwards will land. He's been close. Round of 8 a couple times this year. He's battled a wrist injury. You can see that tape on the right wrist. Trying to overcome that. It's been a sprain that's been nagging him almost the entire season. Back on TV in a great week for him.
Yeah, great week, Mike. And hopefully this will be
tough one, man. That's a tough one.
something that he can build on for the remainder of the season.
All right. Finish it off.
279, 265, front six for each. Flirting with a 300 game would have been the first of our season on TV. But Norm Duke, with the fans behind him, will gladly take the victory. He'll take on Doug Kent. First, though, we got the PBA Skills Challenge coming your way. Ritchie Allen and Tony Reyes head-to-head. Get ready for some spectacular shot making. It's a lot of fun. It's coming your way. Norm Duke head-to-head with Doug Kent on TV is 3-1, including winning the 1994 Rochester Open. He'll try to win the Geico Classic here in Cheektowaga, New York. It's time now for the Denny's PBA Tour Skills Challenge. Great action to follow. It's Denny's PBA Tour Skills Challenge round of 8 matchup between Ritchie Allen and Tony Reyes.
All right, you might as well notify the back. 2 balls coming at him. 7-10. 7-10. All right, last time I made this one, first shot out the gate. So we can do it again. I'll make it.
All right, Randy, what do you think? 7-10, he's got 2 balls.
No sweat for this guy.
Oh, it's got a chance. It's got a chance! Yeah!
Nicely done.
Reyes has to match it.
I think so.
Ritchie, that was anything but a typical house bowler shot.
Tony Reyes, you can do it!
He's got a match.
Uh-oh, back at me.
It's close. Oh!
Not quite enough. 1 strike to none, Allen.
All right, we're going to do the ramp shot. I'm sure all you guys saw this earlier. Person who I got this from is Danny Wiseman. He was the one I bowled against at Hammond. Right here, Danny.
And how about this appearance of Danny Wiseman to help out? He'll set up the ramp for him, Randy.
Isn't that nice?
A cameo from Danny Wiseman.
That's pretty interesting.
Here's the ramp shot. Allen's going to get a good look at that one.
Oh, my God,
That's beautiful. Ritchie's got to match it. He will not. 1 strike apiece. First of 3 strikes wins.
Your call. We're going to do the strike on the opposite foot.
Tony's gotten some practice doing this. Watch this. Wrong foot Louie.
One of his trademark shots, Brooklyn.
And go Brooklyn, too. I didn't say that in there.
Too late to call the Brooklyn. We'll see if Ritchie can match a strike. Not there. 2 strikes to 1 Reyes.
Call me leave. Leave the corner pin, leave the 10 pin. So if I throw a good shot, I should leave one. Second time, a lot.
Ritchie Allen going to try to only leave the 10 pin. Let's see, Dave, if he's clairvoyant.
Intentionally, just the 10 pin. We'll see. Difficult shot. He does it.
Crazy.
Can I call a gutter ball? No, I'll call a 10 pin. 10 pin.
So Tony's trying to match it. Also calls the 10. One of the few times you don't want to strike.
First time I struck all week here.
2 strikes apiece now. Make or break shot for Reyes. He's made this before on the Denny's PBA Tour Skills Challenge. Watch the hook.
Tony Reyes, a long snapper in high school, maybe?
That's got you.
Nice. Look at this.
Al Davis is going to want to sign this guy with the Oakland Raiders. His favorite NFL team. What a shot.
All right. Oh, I'd rather have tried to keep striking this afternoon than try and make this fair right now. Yeah, at least get over there.
Not sure what Ritchie's thinking about right here, but it doesn't look good.
He's all wrong with the technique. He couldn't even bear to watch. Reyes wins it, 3 strikes to 2. Good match. Great matchup. Next week, the Denny's PBA Tour Skills Challenge continues. We'll see Norm Duke with a towel shot. Tony Reyes, the ramp again. More great shots coming your way. And the defending champ, Chris Barnes, with a flying eagle. It's all next week. Let's go on the road, the Denny's PBA Tour. Hall of Famer Ameletta Monticelli looks to defend his title. Denny's PBA Tour returns to historic AMF Riviera Lane, suburban Akron, Ohio, for the 2nd straight year, 31st time overall. There you see the Pro-Am dates and times as well. We also return to Taylor Lanes, Taylor, Michigan, for the 20th time. The center, which has hosted such prestigious events like the World Championship, the Touring Players Championship, once again opens its doors to the world's greatest bowlers. Players who have won titles in Taylor include reigning Player of the Year Patrick Allen, Hall of Famers Tom Baker, Walter A. Williams Jr., Parker Bohn III, Brian Voss, Ameletta Monticelli, and BDW Pete Weber. Coming up from Cheektowaga, near Buffalo, New York, live coverage continues of the Denny's PBA Tour. Doug Kent goes head-to-head with Norm Duke. Well, he's not the tallest guy out there, but he'll try to stand tall today. To this point, the season has really been one of the young guns. 9 of the first 16 events this year have been won by bowlers under 30, including Tommy Jones with his 4 titles. But today, it's the old guard taking over. Doug Kent, 39, Norm Duke, 41, head-to-head here in the championship match, leading us to the Geico Championship recap. Mr. Peterson.
Thank you, Dave. In semifinal number 1, Doug Kent needs the first hit in the 10th frame to beat Parker Bohn III on a score of 227 to 213. And in semifinal number 2, Norm Duke needs all 3 strikes in the 10th frame to shut out Mike Edwards. He does so, and he beats Mike 279 to 265.
That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one.
Setting up a great championship match in the Denny's PBA Tour's Geico Classic.
$40,000, a 1-season tour exemption is on the line. Norm Duke is, of course, in great position for that already, being top 5 in points. Doug Kent would like to clinch it right here. He's 21st in the tour now. 9-pin for Doug to start off this championship match in his 30th career TV appearance, first of this season.
The good news is for Doug, that solid 9, obviously a bad break, but if he strikes out, he shoots 290. Normally shot 279 last game. Do the math, Dave.
There's his 9-pin. And takes care of his mark to begin the title match. Norm Duke has won 22 career championships. $150,000 plus with that victory in the semifinals over Mike Edwards. He's had a wonderful season, no doubt about it. 4th in points, 3rd in money. He's had 8 top 10 finishes. Leads the PBA Tour in that category.
You know what
shots like that.
You know what else, Dave? Duke has made at least 5 televised appearances the last 3 out of 4 seasons. On a scale of 1 to 10, that's awesome.
Ace Hardware matchup here in the championship. Doug Kent hasn't won in so long. Can he break the streak? Norm Duke trying to just break through this first title of the season.
Doug's got his hands full. And Doug only shot 227 the first game, but Doug's won before. He's a seasoned veteran. He's been out here a long time, 17 years. He knows how to bowl. Doug, we don't call him Dougie Smooth for nothing.
Oh, goodness gracious. The 7-10 suddenly for Norm Duke, who had just been rolling along. That changed in a hurry.
Look at how hard he's thrown it. He just came right up out of it. Just a little bit too much speed on that shot, and in my opinion, it's the worst break in bowling.
Only 3 times ever on TV. Jess Stayrook, 91, Tucson, Arizona last time. That record will stand. Yet another TV attempt at the 7-10. Early open to Doug Kent, who must be physically exhausted. Take advantage. His son Jacob right behind him. Norm works on the thumb hole, constantly adjusting with that tape, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got cork and tape in there. He says that the cork tends to ride up on him, and he's always moving that cork back down in the hole, get it positioned just right.
Oh! Comes in high, avoids a split. 6-10 for him. Other finishers, round of 32 on. You saw Jack Jurek down there from Buffalo. He's one of 6 local competitors from Western New York, including Tom Baker, Brad Angelo, Joe Ciccone, exempt bowlers. Ryan Simonelli, young left-hander, 19-year-old amateur, had an incredible run here all the way to the round of 16. Before he lost to Tim Chris. Takes care of the mark, does Doug Kent. Local favorites here. Newark, New York, close to Rochester. A little less than an hour and a half drive for Doug, who has racked up unbelievable miles back and forth to his bowling centers to run that big tournament. His wife, Chrissy, has been helping out as much as possible. They had to find extra support back home in Newark to make sure her position was covered for the tournament they're running so she could watch the show in person. And here she is to watch a strike. Now he's in the championship match.
You see that Doug learned a little bit from that last match against Duke and Edwards. He's trying to go real straight.
Winning this game.
Yeah, I don't think so either, Doug. Unless Norm keeps leaving pocket 7-10s.
Trying to rebound. Does so. As we told you about, great number for Duke head-to-head with Doug Kent. Rochester not far from where we are here, right between Albany, Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo, the 4 large upstate New York cities. Connected by Route 90, New York State Thruway. Oh, late help on number 10, and down she goes.
An interesting note. I mean, you know, Norm Duke was the number 2 qualifier, so he was a higher seed going into this match. Doug Kent qualified number 25. So Norm gets choice of starting lane. Norm decides to have Doug Kent start the match, which makes the finish on the right lane and Norm on the left lane.
Norm Duke, Patrick Allen, Tommy Jones, Mike Scroggins all have made 5 TV shows this year. That's to her best. Can Norm break through with his first win of the year? We'll find out next. Norm Duke, Doug Kent final here in Cheektowaga, New York, near Buffalo. All even midway through this championship match. Special thanks, John Zeno, Area Vice President, General Manager of Geico, our title sponsor here today in the Buffalo area. And
it's
who is that, Randy?
Lizard, Dave. Look out.
He's got fangs.
He's huge.
He's huge. Crocodile Randy making a brief cameo.
Yeah, that's it. There's no comeback for that guy.
Great match here in the final. 4th frame, Doug Kent. All square. double wood.
Hooks early or never hooks? What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
Not always easy here. Sleeper pin in the back.
Top of it more.
Well, this isn't that tough a spare on this pattern, but other patterns get real tricky. But what he needs to do to get to the pocket on that right lane, you hear him say if he gets it right, it overhooks. If he gets it left, it doesn't hook. So what I would do is I would move further right, keep my eyes in the oil, and just fire it right to the 1-3, just like Norm Duke is doing.
But strategy different for Doug here. We'll see how that works out. All about adjustments and trying to forecast the breakdown of the oil. How will it transition? Latter stages. Oh, late help. The scout takes out number 10. His wife certainly appreciates that. He almost had a 7-10 as well to deal with.
And you see, I mean, you're right about the oil transitioning and everything. As you see, he almost leaves another 7-10 on that same lane that Norm left it. But here's the thing. It's not real tough to figure out what to do on this pattern. When you start seeing your ball push down the lane a little bit too far and go a little too light, move to the right, keep your eyes in the oil, pick up the speed so you can stay in that same zone.
We know Norm is so far off the approach there. So he is different colored shoes, one for traction. He almost had another pocket 7-10, just the 10 pin. He'll gladly just take that.
I hear you.
To deal with. And Randy, you were intrigued by his choice of finishing lanes today.
Well, only because the start of the match, he leaves a pocket 7-10 on the left. He almost leaves another one there. He goes back to the left lane and just barely trips the weak 10 out late. Hey, you know what? Norm's won 23 times, 22 times.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
There's his mark with a 10 pin.
Both players now they're having a little trouble getting the ball to go flush. So again, I mean, for Norm, if he backs his speed down, he runs the risk of the ball hooking early. You certainly don't want to go high. I mean, you want to keep the ball in the pocket, but he's got to find a way to get it to face up a little bit stronger in the 1-3. Move it half to a board right. Keep your eyes in the same spot, or maybe even move your target a board left. Fire it right at the 1-3.
Lane breakdown. Lane level look at Norm. Going right at you. 7 pin.
He got a little softer on that shot there. You can see it really check off of the dry boards to the right there. Watch this. This ball's going to super check right about there. And now all of a sudden, without that speed and that weak hand, that ball goes high, but that's high flush and that's a bad break.
Things stay very close here in the final. And a bounce on that one, but he does convert the 7 pin. Looking for his 23rd career title. That would place him 9th all-time, Denny's PBA Tour history. He and Marshall Holman are currently tied with 22 each. They were chasing Brian Voss, who won earlier this year, for his 24th title. Big shot for Doug Kent. Has a double and takes a 12-pin lead on the bubble. Dexter Tournament of Champions wrapping up a regular season schedule in April. Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, the top 28 on the tour make it in terms of the last 28 winners. There are 4 other spots with a 32 bowler field, 2 senior entrants, 2 regional entrants. So those are the bowlers hoping to get themselves in. Brian Smith, number 28, is currently directly on that bubble. Big strike again, Doug Kent. Has the turkey, and the lead expands to 22 pins.
Right there. That's the one right there.
Norm Duke finds himself in a big hole for the first time today. Nope.
High shot, and look out. It's a split. 4, 6, 7.
Watch how early this ball starts up. Right through the face. He pays for it. 4, 6, 7.
Only 1 of 8 so far. Split conversions here in Buffalo.
Boy, and after our big scores of the last match, you can really see what happens with transition out here. You don't figure it out, you look like you can't beat anybody. Norm Duke struggling to get his ball to the pocket.
Second open frame here of the title match. Our coverage of the Denny's PBA Tour rolls on. The Pepsi Championship. Greatest bowlers in the world work the lanes at AMF Riviera Lanes for a piece of the $232,000 purse. The Denny's PBA Tour on ESPN next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern Time. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Kent Hall of Famer Amleto Monticelli defend his title at the legendary bowling center, Riviera Lanes near Akron, Ohio. Norm again. Best shot he's had in some time in this title match.
Yeah, right now the best he can shoot is 212. Doug Kent is already in the high 2 teens. In order for Norm Duke to win this match, in my opinion, he has to strike out 9th and 10th and will then need help from Doug Kent.
Just an amazing story, Doug Kent, who continues that streak without an open. He's been going back and forth to his bowling center, about an hour and a half away to run a tournament. He owns 2 centers. And somehow in very little sleep, with his wife Chrissy helping out back home, his son Jacob here as well, as a freshman in high school, a great bowler in his own right. Bowling is, there's Jacob on the right there. Had a nice sectional tournament we told you about. Canandaigua Academy, the Braves, all the way back to O2 in Latham, New York. So if you take the New York State Thruway dead east from here, be there in about 3 hours.
Strike here, Doug, will all but wrap up this tournament.
9th frame. Looks for the 5-bagger. 10-pin.
What a great shot. If he spares here, he's going to be in the 220s, which means that all he'll need is good count in the 10th frame. But what a great shot. That would have all but wrapped it up. He would have just needed to stay behind the foul line in the 10th frame. Instead, good count in the 10th frame, any kind of mark, no matter what Norm Duke does from this point on.
Has his spare. And Randy, you talked about Doug Kent with a ball swing, changing timing a little bit in the last couple of weeks to try to get himself acclimated to this condition. Those adjustments have worked out well for him.
Yeah, he's got real slow, methodical feet. He gets the ball in the swing late, so in order to throw it faster for Doug, he needs to get the ball in earlier, get his feet moving faster. But, Doug's got one of the best games the tour's ever seen, and it's real surprising he's only won 6 times.
Double there for Norm Duke, 9th foundation frame, but he's got a big hole to climb out of, as we saw the score a moment ago. Doug told us last night, not sure how much longer he wants to stay out here in the tour. He's got the 2 businesses we've told you about in Newark and Penn Yan, New York, nearby here. Strike for Norm. I'd imagine Doug Kent's line of thinking may change if, in fact, he wraps up this championship match, as it looks like he will, and wins his 7th title.
Norm strikes him 2 more shots. Doug Kent will need to get 8 on the first ball, and it's all over. Hard to believe Norm would go from 279 with 1 ring and 10, and every ball just blistering the 1-3 pocket, to needing 2 more strikes in the 10th frame to shoot 212 the very next game.
Help across the deck, not there for the 10-pin.
Doug Kent's going to win sitting on the bench. Best Norm Duke can shoot is 201. Doug needs to keep it behind the foul line, keep his ball on the lane, and he's going to win his 7th Denny's PBA Tour title.
He knows it very well. A long, frustrating run for Norm Duke. 5 shows now this year on TV. He still will not win a title. Hard to imagine the great Norm Duke again falling short. And Doug Kent's incredible story about to be wrapped up. It'll be his 7th title. Been on TV since '04. No win since 2002.
Doug Kent is back in the Dexter Tournament of Champions.
First time since Latham, New York, near Albany, 2002. He wins a Denny's PBA Tour title. His wife, Chrissy, his son, Jacob, enjoying the moment, and imagine the scene right now at Rose Bowl Lanes in Newark. Lakeside Lanes.
Way to go.
In Penn Yan, his bowling centers, they're going crazy, I bet, for Doug Kent, a winner on tour again.
Hey, you want me to throw you a field shot for you?
Incredible.
Wow.
After the congratulations, still got to throw that last ball.
That one's easy to throw.
Now that it's over, piece of cake.
Thank you.
You got to go all the way back to December 8th of 2002, the last time Doug Kent won a Denny's PBA Tour title. He hoists the trophy yet again, and it comes in his native New York State one more time. Doug Kent, a champion in Cheektowaga, New York, near Buffalo. Talk about one happy bowling family, the Kents. They've got to be. Doug Kent, his wife, Chrissy, son, Jacob, and little Natalie, who was just born about a year ago. Randy, how's that family doing?
Well, we're going to find out. Doug Kent, congratulations. You're back in the Dexter Tournament of Champions. Tell us how it feels to win your 7th time.
Well, Randy, I tell you what, this last year and a half has really been a struggle for me. I feel like I've been bowling very well, but I just haven't been able to win a match and when it counted. And this one really feels good. It gets me back in the TSC, like you said, and you know, it probably puts me in for a few years. This one is bittersweet right here. This one feels great.
Natalie, let go. All right, I got to ask this question real quick. Chris, Doug, you own the proprietors of Doug Kent's Rose Bowl Lanes. I know you both work there, but Chrissy, who does all the work, really?
Actually, it's normally me because he's always gone, but today it's all of our staff at Rose Bowl Lanes who's running our biggest scratch tournament of the year. Thanks, guys.
Natalie, do you got anything you want to say?
I would say something else, Randy.
Quickly, Doug.
Well, I had switched from Ebonite to Hammer this year, and I can't thank them enough. I'll tell you what, they stuck by me, and they've been great this year, and I can't thank them enough.
All right, thanks, Natalie. Jacob, the entire Kent family, congratulations. Dave?
I think little Natalie Jane wants to be a TV star someday. Pepsi Championship coming your way from Riviera Lanes, historic bowling center near Akron, Ohio, 12:30 Eastern Time next week. Congratulations going out to Doug Kent, 222-201 winner in the final over Hall of Famer Norm Duke. Doug Kent, fabulous today, wins his 7th career title. For the entire crew, my partner Randy Peterson, it's Dave Ryan saying so long from Cheektowaga, New York, near Buffalo. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Dodge Extreme Bowls coming up next, PRCA bull riding. What a day, Doug Kent, another championship for him.